Okay, now I'm going to continue with changing the data types of certain things, okay? So let's just look at the data types here of each of these. So when we look at these, we see something like cylinders, and we think of something as having 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders, 8 cylinders. So we're hoping that we can convert that to an integer. And the reason why we typically want to convert objects into integers is that we can do a lot more analysis. For example, we can plot a histogram of an integer variable, what we can't of an object variable. So the thing to do is to look at all of the values. And so here, if we look at all of the values, we do in fact see we have 2 cylinders, 4 cylinders, etc. So we could just replace all of this text with just the number. So let's see how we do that, okay? So the first thing is we want to make sure that it's a string, so we convert it into a string type. And then what this allows us to do is it extracts all of the digits. So it just takes all of this and then it pulls out the digits and then it converts it into an integer. Okay? And so we get that same error again, or the warning again, I should say, and again that warning is totally fine. Okay? And then when we look at it, now we see that it's integer type. Okay? So we've succeeded in doing what it is that we wanted to do, and we should look at it always. So let's do that. And so here we have 646 instead of what we had before, which was a bunch of 6-cylinder with this text, 6-cylinder, 4-cylinder, etc. Okay, so that's a lot better for any analysis that we would want to do in the future. Okay, now let's look at CARS 2018. Here we have also a whole bunch of things that we could do here. And one simple one is that we also have cylinders, and in this case it is a number, but it's a floating point number. But as we learned before, it can be an integer. And again, integers are probably better than floating point numbers because it's a clearer, better description of it. And so here we just convert it into integers by making it as type integer. And so we see that it becomes an integer. And then if we look at the data again, we see that it's been converted all into integers. And there are many, many, many other things that we could do in this data set to clean. For example, here we have this thing that we found, air pollution score, where there's a 6-4 in it. So who knows what 6-4 air pollution score means? So that's not what is happening typically. If you look at this, like CARS 2008, we look at the air pollution score, it's typically just a number, 3333, so whatever. So what does it mean for it to be 6-4? So that's probably something that we would ask a domain expert. And in the absence of that, I would, for most applications, probably just delete this line. There's a single line. Now let's just take a quick look at some visualizations with this new visualization that we're going to learn today, which is called scatter matrix, okay, which just plots all of the numerical values against all of the numerical values, okay? So in CARS 2008, we only have 2 of them right now, which is this cylinder and display. So along the horizontal diagonal, along the diagonal, I should say, it just plots the histogram. So this is the histogram of display, and this is the histogram of cylinders. And then everywhere else, it plots the scattergram. So this is the scattergram of display versus cylinders and cylinder versus display. And then we can do the same thing for CARS 2018. And as you can see, this is just, the start of what we could be doing here. And we can do a lot more with this, okay?